Town of Madison Conservation Commission meeting of July 11th, 2024. I call the meeting to order, and look like we can elevate at least two alternates,
Liza.
right?
Liza, Teddy, there's a packet for you.
Okay.
No, that's,
Make a motion to alternate.
I'll make that motion.
hold on.
Elevate the alternates.
What are we doing?
Elevating Ted and Marcia.
Marcia's, no, you mean what? Liza.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
Liza.
sorry.
Okay.
And who made the motion? Thank
Okay.
you. And who seconded it?
I'll second it.
Thank
Okay.
you. Sorry, I was doing with that, so.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over minutes and public comment and get to Tim. Okay,
I just wanted to give you guys an update as to where we were at in terms of, you know, all the forestry maintenance stuff as it relates to the storm. So we have gotten all of the trails opened up, the brush, all the stuff cut out of them. On Jackman Ridge, Bog Brook, and the Wold Lot. Wold Lot wasn't too terribly bad, but Jackman Ridge and Bog Brook were just a nightmare. If you walk on them, I mean, well, we just got the brush out of the trails, it's just off to the edges, and we haven't done what we normally do in the course of maintenance, is to go through with a brush saw and a leaf blower. But the trails are opened up, we got all the woods roads, the fire suppression roads and that on Goodwin Burke opened up. I had to bring my tractor up to pull a bunch of hanging trees and broken trees down and then push the logs out. So while it was there, I did the mowing. It's a few weeks earlier than I typically do it. I try and do it the week before Old Home Week, but where I had the tractor trailered up there, I just said it's a good time to do it. So we've got that all done, and I did flag the easement line on the Durgan Pond McNair easement. You had asked that just by the development. There was still evidence from before the logging, and I was able to heavily flag that. So in terms of the forestry maintenance budget that we had talked about, and I think you guys had approved, we had $4,025. And with everything that I've done and got into it so far, we're at $3,095. So there's $930 left in the normal operating budget. In terms of the stuff that's left to do, I guess it would be up to you as to what you want me to. I would suggest that we mow the field at the Wold Lot again this year. It hadn't been mowed in a while. We mowed it last year. It sprouted back, and it should be something that we wail on every year for a few years and try and get it beat back down. You know, that's 550 out of 930, so that doesn't leave a lot. The bounds at Barclay are 225, we could get that done, but that's not doing any more of the regular trail maintenance, the brush sawing and the leaf blowing that we typically do. If we wanted to get the brush sawing and the leaf blowing done, mow the field, and do the boundaries, you'd have to add $725 to the already kind of approved amount on the forestry budget.
Would that clear all the trails or that?
They're all clear now, they're usable, it's just the brush sawing is just the
Right.
little stuff that grows up and then we leaf blow it just to get them
Right.
well defined. But yeah, that would be all of them, Wold, Goodwin Burke, you know, or Jackman Ridge and Bog Brook.
So if we did all of the brush hogging and the leaf blowing on all the trails, that wouldn't be the $200 and something, that would be more.
No,
Because we actually have more money in our budget than we thought we did.
Okay, well, I guess what I'm saying is, we could get everything done except for what we had planned to do for monitoring for $725 more than you'd originally kind of allocated.
okay, if we were looking at other items that should be done,
Yep.
what else?
Really, the only thing that's leaving off is just the easement monitoring that we would have done this year.
Okay, how much
Which,
is that?
I mean, you went how many years without ever really doing it, so
Right.
missing a year's not a huge deal.
Well,
It'd be nice to get it back in the,
what,
We did some last year, so I mean, I guess, you know, I look at the physical things as being more of a priority. Certainly getting the other field mowed, and it would be
Right.
good to finish the trail
Right.
work.
Well, if we have under new business, a suggestion that I made was that we up your dollar amount by $3,000, which seems extraordinary given what you're talking about.
Yeah, that seems like a fair bit more than I need to accomplish everything that was on the original budget. I mean, if we're gonna do the monitoring, so basically we're doing everything that was in the line items, that would
Right.
be 1,200, so it would be 1,925 additional that you would need, and we would get everything done
Okay.
that was otherwise done. But again, I mean, it wouldn't be the word, I mean, that $1,200 easement monitoring item is something that if you wanted to just put that off a year.
Well, no, I think it's important for us to continue doing that on a regular basis because you now created a backlog which
Okay.
pushes it out another year.
Ted was concerned about the,
I was wondering about the ward parcel. Have you're not including any work in the ward parcel?
No, we haven't done trail maintenance on that in the past, so I haven't even looked at it, to
Yeah,
be
okay.
honest with you.
well, we think it needs to be done though, correct?
Well, I'm gonna try to find another fellow to help me with it.
No,
So,
no.
you know, let me just explore that.
Have you looked at it? Is it in
Oh, I've
tough
been
shape?
into it and have done a lot, but I was only able to go so far.
Yep.
And I had at least 20 trees that are gonna have to be chainsawed to the point where I stopped. And I
Yep.
don't know about the rest of the trail. I only got about halfway through. It's passable to a point now,
Yep.
but there's a lot of stuff that has to come down, which I'm willing to do if I can find somebody to help me. And I'm working on that, so. I'm not gonna ask for any budget
Okay.
amount at this moment.
If we included that as a, how about we say $2,500?
I mean, it's up to you. I'm
Well,
willing
that
to do
would
whatever you
give you
want.
room to take care of the issues that Ted's
You know,
brought up.
and I don't know, I wouldn't know how you estimate what that cost is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do it and see where we get.
All right.
I could take a walk with you someday.
Because
Well, we'll just probably come over and do it. You know, rather than
There's a few
walking it
markers
twice.
that are,
Huh?
a few markers have come down
Yep.
with the trees that, you know, so there's gotta be some additional marking.
All right, well, we can certainly jump on that. Is that something you'd like to try and get done before Old Home Week? 'Cause
Well,
if-
I don't know what the hike is this year, is there?
We haven't, I don't think we've decided on the hike this year, have we?
Mark has,
Has
Mark usually leads it.
He's
Has
not
Mark,
gonna be here tonight.
Mark hasn't mentioned anything, has he?
No, and is
Do you want
that
me
the
to
only
email it?
trail that we haven't maintained regularly?
I think so.
I mean, Cascades, it
Is
seems
it?
like is done by volunteers and it sees so much use that that's never something we've done. It's
Right.
really just the big ones over off Web Mine Road and
Right.
Old Lot that have in the past required a lot of maintenance.
Now, the Wold Lot, those trails, have they been,
We've gone through them with the
Yeah,
chainsaw,
okay.
haven't done the brush saw and leaf blow, but they're open to the point
They're
where
open.
they're open. And that was the first priority, was just to get everything brushed
Right,
open,
right.
usable, and then see where you wanted to go from there.
Okay, so your estimate was 19, and then I'm adding a few thousand for
Or a few hundred, yeah,
a few hundred, sorry.
should we say
few-
up to an amount, and then that way if it goes a little
Right.
over, it'll be all
Up to
right?
2,500,
yeah, I don't see any issue getting everything you're talking about done for that.
okay. All right, make a motion that,
I make a motion that we increase Tim's budget by up to $2,500.
I'll second it.
second. All in favor? Yes? Any,
I did print out a bill just for what I've got into it now.
Okay.
Because it's gone back a couple of months to get to this point, so I would like to submit that to you.
all right, perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Do you want me to email Mark and ask him if he has a hike in?
Yes. Appreciate that.
So I will try to get all of the trails dressed up before home week, which home week's the first week of August.
Yes.
Shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue to get through them all with the, whatever we need to do out here and get through the rest of them with a brush saw and a leaf blower.
Because we already have a disclaimer, so people are,
I did put that
Aware.
online. Yep, I put it online.
you know, people are aware that.
And just so you know, like on Goodwin Burke and the Bog Brook Trail and the Jackman Ridge Trail, I mean, all we did, I mean, there's spots where you can see where the trail is because it's just a wall of brush on the other side that we had to cut out of it. It's not the prettiest in spots, but it's not like you're gonna chip it or there's nothing you can do with
I was
it,
gonna say,
short
what
of
else?
just getting it out of the trail.
What else would you do with it, really?
Yeah, I mean, you could spend a lot of time mulching it up real fine or trying to drag it a long ways into the woods, but I figure it'll rot.
Good habitat.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, I guess that covers it for now. So I will try and get all the trail work done before Old Home Week. And I'm gonna hold off probably until afterwards to do the mowing of the field up there. Let it grow for the rest of the summer so that it gets completely beat down.
I think there are blueberries up there too that people pick.
Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of blueberries in that field. So I don't think we did it until like Labor Day last
Right,
year.
right.
So. All right,
Okay.
anything else?
Very good. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Tim.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Jim, I just want to say that you're in favor of the meetings going a little later tonight.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, I can come now just because it's summertime and my daughter's at work, but as soon as school fires back up, I'm back to picking up it with sports and that, so
Right. Thank you.
it's hard to get here.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the McNary's one too, because they've been in and done a lot of work in there, so.
Yeah, and the easement line goes right by where they had stuff staked out.
Exactly.
And I flagged it up real heavy and I went all the way down over the hill, like off to that, I did from the town road all the way through.
It worked, yeah, great.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
$2,500 is gonna be in addition to what his 4,025,
Right.
just so we're clear.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna make that in the motion because we
Right.
just said up, to increase Tim's budget up to $2,500.
There's a lot of beaver
I'm gonna
activity
make a
in the,
total amount of
Cook's Pond
4,025
area.
plus 25. I'm
I
gonna put
bet.
the total in the budget,
Goes
just so
down.
everybody's on the same
Right,
page.
Right, he claims he's not done with the. so-
Yes, thank you.
All right.
I don't like the way
Okay.
that, I'm gonna reword that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, fine.
Approval of minutes, June 6th and May 21st.
I don't have, oh, it is May 23rd, I crossed off the 3, I thought I screwed up that, sorry. I don't have Noreen's minutes down here with me because I don't think you want to approve them until she's here. So they're not included in here. Because she wasn't coming, so I did not include them, but my minutes are in here.
She has a Green Mountain Board meeting and she's the secretary, so she couldn't miss
So-
that.
All right. So we can vote for the June 2nd.
Right.
Yes.
I'll move to approve the minutes of June 6th.
Okay, sorry, June 6th.
That's all right, we're all getting, I
Okay,
got
you're
screwed
getting
up on
old.
the date too.
Okay, so all in favor?
Oh, no, second.
Second? You
Who's
need-
second? Who, what?
I'll second it.
Okay. Thank you,
I'm gonna abstain because I was not here.
that's right. Yep.
Okay. Tim, we covered. Doug appears not to be here.
No, it's not.
Last conversation I had with him was obviously at our last meeting, and they were considering our adjustments, our amendments. And I thought he was making an effort to
Right.
deal with them. He said they weren't done with them, but
I think we're on hold until we get their
yeah. well,
revised edition and then hopefully we can have one more workshop and talk about it. And then
right.
what you thought, we'll go to Tim next and then we should be good shape.
Well, I'd like to go to Tim after they make the next revision.
Right, right. So
we'll
we
do
have to
that.
see where, I mean, we've given them everything we had, now we have to wait to see what they do with it.
Right, exactly. Conservation easement deed revisions.
What is that?
That's the same thing.
Same
That's
thing.
Yeah.
Um, Property review
That'd be
commitments.
Mark Olson and Joy Gray, and I don't have anything from either one.
Okay.
So we're still.
Why don't you remind them?
Okay.
Master plan, the issue that I think is significant is that with the chain of ponds, the plan is gonna be dramatically changed.
Right.
I included in your packets that master plan that my friend there came to the meeting. So I just kind of gave an
Yeah, but I thought it was very helpful. this
overview for everybody.
Right.
Kind of an overview of what a master
It
plan
was,
should be.
Okay.
so it kind of gives an idea, but I don't know where the planning board is at this point. I think that,
That was my question.
I think it's on hold at the moment because some members are talking about not wanting to spend money, so I don't know really where they're going with this. So I just kind of sit there and I do what they tell me.
Right.
Okay.
But I think we could, once we get the whole chain of ponds thing done, we can focus back on this, but we think that should make the chain of ponds a priority, and we can't really do this until that's done, so.
Mhm.
You're gonna ask me, and I haven't, I'm on digitizing, I know you're gonna ask me, haven't even looked at it. I'm right in the throes of our first court case with the STR, so I am up to my eyeballs right now with that, so I'm being
Is
honest.
there something I can do to help with that?
That's
mean,
the
it-
big book.
But there need to be
Digitalizing
phone
it.
calls made, or have we decided what we're gonna do, or?
I think the issue was,
Money at the time.
getting, the appropriate,
Joy was gonna help me with
yes, Joy was,
that.
and it was a matter of getting the appropriate vehicle. Was it gonna be a
She was talking about Adobe.
PFD or whatever,
Right,
Word
right.
file, that kind of stuff?
Right.
I happen to prefer a Word file, but for public use, it would be a PFD, but internal for us would be a Word that we could modify,
Right,
more easily modify the documents. And I think the reports, the town reports are in reasonably good shape at this point. We've gone through most of them.
right.
We only have 2 laggards at this particular point. And so they're in reasonable condition that we don't have to do a lot of modification to them after the digitization.
Right.
So that in my mind is the plan, is that we determine the cost associated with the scanning, and then the output being in 2 formats, one for public use and one for internal use,
Internal use.
which would permit us to modify them as necessary.
Now, is this something that we could justify taking out of the forest account, or do we have to have a different account that we would pay for this for?
Well, that's an issue. We can't take it
That's
out of
another
the
issue.
forest account, we cannot.
No, that'll come up next, you'll talk about that in here.
Okay.
So
Well, the
we don't
issue,
really have any money.
well, the issue with that is that it's been determined that the forest maintenance account only covers forestry, trails, that kind of thing. There is an idea that the capital reserve fund could be used because it has the purpose of the fund being land acquisition and conservation purposes. So that I think we have the ability to use that particular account.
And we'd have to have it
And
approved first at town meeting.
I don't know whether or not, I just read this in a 2-minute fashion, so I want to digest it, but I think if that is the lawyer's interpretation, we're good. We don't need to go to town meeting. Because we have a definition in that one account that said conservation purposes.
Is that our land use change tax money?
No, capital reserve
Oh,
fund.
that's the capital reserve, but if it's a capital reserve, we have to go through town meeting to get that money.
Oh,
So,
that, you're right, the capital
Yes.
reserve, so if we were,
So we would just have to at town meeting, we take money out of forest management and take money out of this
right,
account.
right.
Might be
Exactly.
easier than trying to set up another account for,
No money can come out of forest management. We can't touch that.
Right.
We can't touch the forest,
no, but we had discussed in the last meeting that maybe restructuring that account to give us more leeway with that and suspend it the way we had before.
The statute governing the forest maintenance fund is as follows. 31:113 appropriations authorized for the purposes of establishing or maintaining a city or town forest. The city or town may raise and appropriate such funds as it deems necessary.
Right.
The proceeds from said forest shall be placed in a special forest maintenance fund and shall be allowed to accumulate from year to year unless otherwise voted by the legislative body of such city or town. The unless otherwise voted language suggests the town meeting could vote to spend money from the fund for some other purpose. I believe the meeting could probably could vote to take some money from the fund to pay expenses related to the purchase of the conservation easement, but this makes him a little nervous, so
Well, hang on.
the forest maintenance fund is for that purpose.
Right, I was just
And
referring
he
back
likes
to what we
my
had in the
idea
minutes.
of doing the capital reserve.
Right,
yeah.
and I think it's appropriate, so
So
it's
I
a
don't-
matter of a town meeting,
Right.
we,
So this is in referencing in the minutes where I had suggested that we could rewrite it to give the commission more access to money for the things the
I
commission deemed
think that's a
conservation measures.
no.
right.
And so we should ask
Apparently, that's not the case.
the towns.
We have a solution, or it appears that we have a solution, so I
Trying
think
anyway.
I think we're good.
He liked my solution. I gave him an email and gave him this, how about this? And he came back and
Right.
said, I think the other option you suggested is better, so I just went with that.
What
Okay.
makes me a little nervous is that he hasn't himself, he says, I'm basing my information on the former selectman Bill Lloyd's review of the town meeting. I have not researched the town's actions independently. So his opinion is based on somebody else's opinion and not on direct research of his own. Which makes me, I would like to know that he has looked at it and that he still agrees with what he wrote. It's the first paragraph right here.
For my town,
It's just,
Well,
it's just
again,
says,
I've read this ages ago, and I recall, but essentially, I think he's taking this position that he's got in this letter may not be anything different, or maybe just a clarification, and we're not relying on the December 13, 2022.
do you have,
And
is there,
it clearly
do I have that letter?
states in the forest maintenance fund of his letter, this is not a capital reserve or expendable trust fund, it's just a separate account held by the town treasurer. However, as with other funds, it cannot be spent without an appropriation by town meeting. Money in the fund should be used to maintain the town forest, that's it.
Right.
Okay, and he refers to the paragraph above, capital reserve
Right,
fund.
I was going, just go there.
Establishes the capital reserve fund for purposes of land acquisition and conservation purposes. So he's repeating exactly what,
He just said to me,
right,
Right, but I was just referring to this first paragraph of his initial investigation.
I think the paragraph we're talking about, the capital reserve, is something not, he's referring to exactly what happened in 2006. He's not relying on, his first paragraph applies maybe to other sections of this letter, but I think
but he said that
2006
again in here.
discussion is what he's referring to.
I don't, do I have that letter? I haven't seen that.
It's page
That's-
2,
That's the same letter you have there, Marcia.
Oh, okay,
page
On the
2.
backside.
okay, but it's just, as I say, what makes me a little
I don't-
uncomfortable. Is that
Unless
he-
you want to send an email saying, are you really sure that the capital reserve fund has these words in it? I think that's exactly what it means. Bill Lord's interpretation doesn't apply to this particular provision,
Well,
this
it
particular
just says,
paragraph.
as we discussed, this letter describes the various funds the town of Madison has established for conservation purposes. I'm basing my information on former selectman Bill Lord's review of the town meeting votes from 1971 to the present. I have not researched the town's actions independently.
Okay, but he is referring to 2006 meeting, which is clear. Now, we can go back to the 2006 meeting and make sure that the reserve fund is for the purpose of land acquisition and conservation purposes.
No, I'm okay with that one. The one I'm wondering about is
Which one are you?
the forest management account. Because if he's going on what Bill Ward has said,
Now, wait a minute, he's not going on that, he's going on an interpretation that he's indicated in his latest communication with Kate.
oh, I haven't seen that.
No, I just
Okay.
got it.
Okay,
Okay.
it just came in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yesterday afternoon, so.
Came in yesterday afternoon
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have,
at 3:43. So she's referring it to me. And you wanna circulate this to the others?
I just need it back, I gotta keep it in
Okay.
my file, but it's not any different than what's in his letter, so if
Right.
wants to read it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so at town meeting, we'll have to deal with an appropriation out of that account.
Capital reserve.
Right. Okay. Meeting time change. You're already politicking already.
Well, Tim had asked me before he even, this is months ago, before he even knew we were discussing possibly putting him later, just saying how difficult it is for him to be here at 4:30. And I know, I mean, I don't wanna speak for her, but I know that Joy had asked the selectmen to meet later because 4:30 was a tough time for her. Noreen has a conflict with the Green Mountain Conservation, that's why she's not here today, because she's treasurer there and they meet here. And I would prefer an evening meeting, but, I mean, I was thinking about, it's just one night a month, it's not like we're asking people to meet
Every
multiple nights.
Thursday, yeah.
And if it's hard for members of the commission to be here, and our person that we rely on mostly for advice can't be here, are we really doing the town a good service by meeting at 4:30 because it's convenient for people, but not because it makes the commission more viable?
Okay. My preference is, if that's the case, my preference is 7 o'clock versus 6:30.
I'd still rather see it at 4:30.
Me too.
I'm not gonna ask these employees to go home and then have to come back.
Well, but they had to do that up until about a year ago when we changed it.
And I understand childcare issues and whatnot, but Tim is running a business. We're paying him money. If he can't find the time himself to do his work and come to part of his business, that's not on us to change schedules for his business.
Oh,
One night a month.
right. One night a month.
Since we're a democracy, I'll be looking for majority one way or the other.
We could try it.
4:30 or 7 o'clock.
We could try it. see what
And
happens.
is it
We've
fair,
done
let's see,
seven
we
before.
have
We've done it before.
We have-
with
we have
meetings.
met-
There's a reason we moved them
3
up.
members not here. So we wait to have a full,
I think Noreen said she would vote in favor of a later meeting.
She's not
They'd
here,
be
so
here.
it doesn't matter. For her vote for,
Okay.
if we decide to vote tonight.
I'm good with both times.
okay.
I'm retired. I can go either one.
How
All
about
right.
I was
just,
gonna say, how about alternating months, one
Oh,
odd number, okay.
That would get really.
just a trial?
very
Like I said, we did it before, so we've been through that trial.
well, and
Well,
for
we
the
moved
30 years.
we moved it based on,
Emily Bass.
I think it was a matter of majority like the 4:30.
Right, because
Yeah.
people didn't wanna
We
drive
didn't
in the
move it,
dark,
Jeff.
that's
Yeah,
what
it was-
when I started,
One
that's what it
vote didn't
was.
move it.
And
I thought it
so,
was all because Emily was the one who originally proposed the change.
Right, she was the one that was hard to change.
Yeah,
And she got the support to change. She had the majority vote.
And then
on
Mike changed
support
it to
to
4,
change
it was to 4 o'clock, and then
Yeah.
Mike upstairs changed it to 4:30, because when Linda's on vacation, when you're on vacation, I can't get down here and at 4 o'clock, and Mike can't either, cause I'm usually counting his money, so.
How about 7 a.m.?
That works even better.
I'm
I
okay
would
with
do
that.
that.
Count me out.
I would do that, I'm here, so.
Okay.
I would love it.
Fine, I don't care.
All right,
So we should probably wait, you're saying?
well, why don't we, I'd like to have everybody, just about everybody. If there's one missing, I'm okay, but if we have 3 people missing, I think it's unfair to
I
have,
do too, I think
Take a
everybody should be
position.
here.
because we have 3 here that are gonna say 4:30. And we got
My vote
one.
doesn't count.
Is there a way to count an absentee
Oh,
ballot?
sorry, well, we still have
Can
3.
a
Not at a vote, not at something like this.
My
You
vote
can't-
doesn't
They
count. I'm
can't
just-
put in their, what their.
No, I can count you.
They can't vote?
No, I
No, they'd
think
have to
they
be
vote.
here.
Oh, you
But
do,
I just,
okay.
mine's my own personal reasons, because I'm here the night before sometimes, the planning board till 10:30 at night, and I do 2 days, my whole week in 2 days, so.
What do you say?
Me?
Yeah,
Well, I like 4:30. Like I said, I would be here at 7 o'clock. I'm not a late person,
Alright.
you know, I get up early in the morning and we get done work at 4:30, and I also have my son's living here with my 4-year-old granddaughter, and I'm responsible for taking care of her while she's working. My wife's picking her up now from daycare, but I would like to keep it and get it done with at an early time.
so if we were to vote now, 4:30 would win,
By 1.
right? If I'm counting right.
So to be fair, we should.
So to be fair,
No, it'd be a tie if Ted voted for
You're gonna hold that
7,
down.
then it's 3 or 3.
he's neutral, he already indicated that.
He's neutral.
So
Okay,
my recommendation is we make a decision the next meeting. And we could call it a drop dead thing. If by next meeting, we don't have a full board showing up or close to a full board, we'll vote anyway.
I won't be here next month, so I'd like to
So
be able to
there you go.
vote. I'd like to be able to vote.
Well, that's another issue.
One
We-
absentee ballot.
we-
That absentee ballot?
I wish we could, but I can, proxy, like on another board I work for, they do proxies, but we don't have bylaws, so you can't do that.
Well,
I know.
How about?
the issue, to solve Marcia's problem, in the past, we used to pass on August as a meeting.
Right, we did, that's right.
And last year was different because we had a speaker, we had somebody from AmeriCorps or whatever.
The girl that was doing the burning, that was
Right.
gonna do the burning, and then they didn't do it, that whole thing, yeah.
Okay. So, the question at hand is, do we have a meeting in August or not? I'm entirely flexible.
What would the date be?
I think it's the 3rd.
The third.
August 1st.
The 8th
Oh, first, yep.
or 1st?
First.
Wow. I'm not gonna be here either.
No, you're
I'm
not.
on vacation.
I have a conflict with the library, Friends of the Library.
On August 1st.
And Marcia,
Yeah.
you go.
Next meeting's in September, it sounds like.
I gotta say, that
So
seems
that's
pretty
three.
unanimous.
So we'll solve your problem of not being here by, I'll make a motion that we skip August as a meeting.
I'll second.
I think that's a good idea, just
Yay.
because we usually
I'm
do.
so happy.
Because it's all homework too.
I'm sorry, I just am, because I think I'm gonna be in the
Isn't
throes
it?
of other stuff.
You'll have 2
Is it
meetings
all
in
homework?
September.
Huh?
Is it all home week?
No, that's the week after.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Second,
second.
and did you made the motion?
I'll second it.
I made the motion? Okay.
Yes. Everybody but pass?
Okay, everybody voted yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
And not that this, but in August, if anybody wants to go to this, I can give you a place to
Oh,
stay, because I only live 2 miles from where this is being held. The Environmental
I just stuck
Conservation
that in everybody's
Commission.
packets just to have.
I would like to go, the unfortunate thing, it's so far away.
It is.
It's way out,
It's 3
It's
hours.
almost in,
Where's Hancock?
it's almost in Massachusetts, it's in Massachusetts.
No.
It's not in Massachusetts.
No, but it is
Yeah,
close to
lots
3
of-
hours
You
away.
could spit across.
No.
It's one in Massachusetts.
It's an hour from Boston.
If there's a bump in the border, Hancock is on that bump.
No.
Okay.
It's on a,
Hancock is near Dublin and Peterborough, it's up there.
That's pretty. Nice trip. Monadnock.
That's where I grew up, that's all.
All right. Okay,
I
well,
know. I'd be
people
happy
should
to-
consider, I'm thinking about it in terms of going. Because I'd like to,
Let's see now.
It's a
Get
long
more
way to go
knowledge.
and come back in one day.
I'd like to get more knowledgeable,
oh, I'm sorry, yeah. I
particularly with dealing with
Oh, thanks, I'll press it. You guys, I just need it back. You
Chain
can
of ponds
review
issue.
that.
Thank you.
so,
But I
All
will,
right.
I will be down there when
You wanna,
I have
I got that in the
accommodation.
mail too. If anybody's interested, I just like to share that stuff. It's from Green Mountain.
okay, Green Mountain, Watershed,
Yep, and it came in the mail, so
July
I wasn't gonna
3rd,
photocopy it, I just
30th.
got it today, so. Just to share with everybody.
okay.
So we did that, so now you're at the update on Hurricane Point sign, which.
I got it,
It's done.
yeah, I got it. It's done. And I haven't put it up, we haven't put it up yet,
Oh, you
It's
have
done,
it,
it
good.
looks nice.
no.
Oh, you got this, I got a new sign?
Yeah, what I did
Yay.
is I went to Gemini. I gave them the old wooden sign. They tried to make it out, and I said replicate it, but not as wood. They do with their
Like a
sign
fabric,
material.
yeah.
Yeah, and made it up, and it's in the garage over there. And we're gonna put it up on some delineator posts. We'll get out there. I don't feel like in this heat. I haven't felt
No.
like going out
Well, thank you for doing that.
digging holes.
Yes. Nice, thanks.
And speaking of the signs, I have the sign, the tree that came down in the bog. I have the sign from the Goodwin Burke Forest and the trails
Oh, okay.
hiking sign. I'm leaning them up against, I didn't want anybody to steal them, so I took them, but I put them up against my house. So
Okay.
I don't know what tree we'll put that back on, but
Are they still good? It's
yeah,
good
they're
shape?
still okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just leave them right there, but take them anytime you want or anybody. I didn't know what to do with them. I was afraid they'd get stolen.
Yeah, I'll grab them at some point. And
All right, excellent, thank you.
One other thing on the, while I'm talking, just real quick, if Mark can't or doesn't have, I'll do the walk for Old Home Week. I would volunteer to do one on.
The hike?
Yeah, I would, if he doesn't want to do it,
Okay,
I'm more than
I'll
happy to
email
do it
him
on
and
the.
then, I see you every day, 5 times a day, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Where
on
do
the-
you wanna do it?
I was thinking just starting it on the McNary's and maybe do up like in Conjockety and walking up to our camp and back. That's pretty easy, short walk.
That'd be very
So you
nice.
do McNair to where?
Well, I would start at
Just so I can write it down.
Conjockety.
What's that?
That's a road.
Oh, I don't know where that. I
It's
live
up
in
off of
town.
Go Hill,
Okay,
and start there, and I can't admit it's not more than, wouldn't be more than a mile and a half or 2 miles. I don't
It's
know.
pretty
Try-
flat.
It's
too.
pretty
not-
flat.
Yeah, it'd be a good walk, be a great walk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You keep it mowed, Josh.
Is
Yeah.
is the program still being developed that Josh can get his name and phone number in
I
there?
wondered
so
about
people-
that.
oh,
'Cause that's-
let me,
That's the publicity on the thing.
Yeah.
Mark always had his name and phone number if people were interested in the hike to call him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the thing's even printed or,
I don't think they've printed, he's gone. Jake's on the committee and I don't see his light on, I think he must have left.
Yeah, he walked out.
Yeah. I think they're still working on it and Mike, it will be back on Monday, so.
I haven't seen Mark in a few months, so I
just saw
don't,
him.
just
Yeah,
haven't,
he's back.
so I don't, he may already have something planned or in the works.
I'll
or-
email
I
him.
don't think so.
No,
I'll email him and then I'll
Yeah.
let him know
But I
that
will-
if
I
he
would be
doesn't,
happy to
that
do
you'd
that,
be happy
yeah.
to do it.
That'd be
and then we'll
great.
go from there.
That's,
Thank you very
And I'll
much.
let
that's
everybody know
excellent,
what,
excellent.
that's an
What?
institution as part of
Yeah.
Old Home Week.
but I'll also need to
There's a
let,
hike,
if
yeah.
he doesn't and you do, make sure Mike knows about it because it has to go in the flyer.
Right.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How about our presentation
Oh,
on Home
I got the money, I'm all set, I won't be here. I'm taking the money and going.
It's not very much, you're not going
All
very
right.
far.
Week? What's the arrangement at this point?
It's the same organization we've had for the last several years.
Right,
It's at the school. We'll set up 50 or so chairs that Sunday afternoon. It's from, 4 to 5, I believe, and then the chicken barbecue is after that.
okay.
So, we're all set.
But do we need people to set up the chairs and?
I can do it, let's see. what
I can
this
come
one-
down, I did it for the ZBA, I can
No,
come
those
down.
chairs
This
are
is
nice and
August
light. They have
11th?
They're on the dollies. If somebody wants to come by and help, fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask, you know, it's not a difficult.
What date is it?
What day is it, Ted, usually?
It's the 3rd, it's a
The 3rd.
Sunday, it's always on a Sunday.
Okay, so it's the 3rd.
My son and daughter-in-law will be here, my wife, we can do it in 15 minutes.
Okay.
You sure? Cause I do it
It's
for the
fine.
CBA meetings.
If you're coming, if you wanna come to the presentation,
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh, it's very neat, it's very cute.
they've been
August
real
3rd.
good, this
And then it's picking them up afterwards too, right? We have to take them down.
It's really interesting, the people will volunteer
It's the 4th, so the
to
4th
help
is Sunday.
put them away. What's that?
4th is Sunday, so you mean the 4th, right? 3rd is Saturday?
Yeah, whatever the Sunday,
Okay,
it's
4th.
Sunday.
August 4th, what
Thanks.
time?
Uh, I should have, I don't know if I brought all my stuff. I think it's 4 o'clock, like 4 to 5, because the chicken barbecue then is right afterwards.
And I heard Jake say today that some things are getting moved, he's on the committee and things are getting moved around, so I'm not really sure what's going on, so I'll send it.
That was one question I had is, they're doing quite a bit of work at the school. Is it gonna be completed by,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
What kind of work?
they're putting in a new air conditioning system.
Oh, Jesus.
On the roof of the
I'll
gymnasium.
check, let me call.
If not, could you use the cook downstairs at the library if you needed to?
That's the library.
Downstairs?
Courtroom?
Yeah, the room,
Yeah, if you
meeting
can't
rooms.
get the school.
Chick room.
I
Chick
don't
room. I mean,
know, I
not
don't know if you
cook,
can get
chick.
50 people in there with space for the animals. I'd be concerned about
Yeah, that
that.
would be a
Oh.
little tight.
I hadn't thought
Let me
because
talk to, is it Paul, no, who's the gal, the secretary at the school? Polly?
Sloan is at the.
Holly,
At the.
Holly.
Holly,
I'll check with
Oh,
Holly.
school.
Let me find out what's
Okay.
going on.
but I know like the rec can't use it this year, and
Right.
so we might not be able to.
I've already filled out the paperwork and turned it in to her to reserve the room. Let me
Well,
just,
I know the kids were, they're at the school. They were there today, because I had a parent call looking to get into the school, and I'm like, he was 3 hours late getting his child to the rec program, but they were in the school.
yeah.
Oh,
So maybe there's a room that you can use, if not the gymnasium.
oh, maybe it's already done.
That's not, cause we gotta put in a concrete pad and for something.
Well, let me
In a
know,
couple
Ted,
weeks.
if I need to help you try to.
let me talk
find-
to the school first, and then I'll
Somewhere.
see you. I'll
Yeah,
talk
let
to
me
you.
know, we'll put
Okay.
our heads
I'll
together.
do it tomorrow.
Oh, good,
Okay, that makes
good
me
thing.
some
John.
I just, yeah, I thought of it.
All right. And we can verify the time, it's
Yeah,
4 to 5 minutes?
It's whatever it has been for years. I think it's 4 to 5.
It used to be right after the Blueberry Social, but now the
Well,
Blueberry
that's,
Social is
that was
not.
moved to another day.
Right, exactly, so I'm not sure what it was.
That's why I,
Okay,
like away, it's been tough.
Okay, administrative correspondence, we talked about it.
I don't
That was the issue.
I don't have anything.
The forest, we just received a payment of $11,300. And this will go into the conservation land use change tax account. So that'll increase that account to 225,000. However, we're using 213 of it for
Well, we got a little
the-
bit back in there.
for the easement, so it's creating some flexibility for us in that particular account.
And I just had something to say about the education component when you
Okay,
get ready.
all right, so why don't you bring that up now?
Well, I'm bringing it up, but I just had a thought because we hadn't found any any kids to sponsor a camp. That maybe Green Mountain, who are in the schools anyway, might have some programs that they could bring to the summer rec program for the campers that are mostly Madison kids, that is the summer rec program basically. And that they would be able to do some programs which would reach more than 1 or 2 kids, and hopefully it would be a group of kids. And when I spoke to Green Mountain, they wanted to know who to contact, and so they thought they had something that they could do for us, and so I put Jill Emerson in contact with, is it the rec director's name, Heather? Heather, and they were supposed to get together. It slipped my mind, and I tried to follow up on it today, and I couldn't reach anybody to see if anything actually happened. But hopefully that $400 that we had set aside will be able to provide 3 or 4 programs during the summer for the Madison rec program. So I don't know if that was,
Okay, well, it's pretty late in the season at this point, so
I'm hoping that
Well,
followed through, and I'll find out what,
we- if we approach it much sooner, I think we would be much better organized and we can obviously do something.
I kind of like the idea of having something where multiple kids would participate as opposed to 1 or 2 kids, so that we could reach and educate a larger group of children about
Mhm.
conservation, but
Okay.
I think we need to start earlier no matter what
All
we
right,
do
well,
and do it.
that's part of the thought process of saying, let's try and organize this
Right.
in a way that everybody's happy with it, in a way that makes it work, in a way that people will, if we wanna go after certain kids, we have candidates that,
And we would need to probably have that nailed down pretty good before town meeting if we're gonna include it in our budget. We would have to be able to defend
Okay.
that.
right,
Yeah, because that wasn't on a budget, that was what I said the last time, it wasn't a
not.
budget item,
Right.
no.
No.
It comes out of the gift account, so you can do whatever you want, you just gotta give me time, because every time we do it, it seems to be too late.
Right. Well,
So,
If we could find something that could work from year to year and get it resolved and everybody's
Right.
happy with it, then we'd be in better shape than we are now.
okay. Unless there's any other issues,
It's Miller time.
Miller time, well, yeah,
Wait, wait,
exactly, yes,
oh, new business. I'm friends with Emily. She lives on Alexander Avenue, and there were 2 bollards put up to prevent boat launching off the end of Alexander. Only 1 bollard has been installed.
okay.
I don't know why only 1, those things that screw into the,
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, I believe they were taken down 2 years ago. We take them down in the wintertime because
Right.
people like to go out fishing, and we couldn't get one of them out, and we never put the other one back in.
So
It's down at the garage, yeah. well,
there's a lot of activity from neighbors in that area with
Yeah.
boating. You'll see there's a lot more mooring and stuff like that, so I feel it just looks like a vulnerable launch point.
Nobody's launching, is it somebody launching their boats there, or?
I don't live there, so I
Oh.
can't say, but it'd be possible to launch a fishing, a small
Yeah.
fishing boat.
Okay.
And I have another question.
Yeah.
I do like to take nice walks in the woods, and I've been up Jackman Ridge recently and some other places that I've never been before. And I noticed that the trails are nicely marked, for instance, on Jackman Ridge with red. But coming down, it's before the storm, I got completely lost. And finally did Google Earth to make sure that I was pointing north, figuring I would hit a road if I went north. And indeed, I did hit Lead Mine Road. But the trails are marked in one direction, but not in the other. And I'm happy to go in and mark a trail and walk. I don't know how that happens in town, or how the marking of trails is done.
Well, that'd be an item for Tim.
I found, in cleaning out my basement after 50 years, a bunch of the little metal hiking
Symbols.
symbols that I'm happy to donate to somebody to put them up, but I do it, but I probably have 20 or 30, I don't have too many of them.
What's the distance you're talking about that's not marked?
Well,
Approximate?
when it's a new trail and it's sloping and you've only looked at it going up, and then you turn around to come down and you don't see any marks at all.
Oh, it's on the other side.
Yeah, and the forest is a little bit more open, so where you tread is not beaten out, where it's a real path. And so I was just thinking,
So it's a 2-way trail, not a 1-way trail?
Looks like,
the trail is really not really a trail. Once you get up on the shoulder of Jackman Ridge, it's hard to figure out how to get down again. And I don't mind getting lost,
I don't-
but I probably am not the
We
only
don't
person.
maintain that trail, do we? I don't think we do. I don't think we
Jackman Ridge?
yeah.
I think Tim was saying that
Take
he
out.
had done that one.
Well, he mentioned that word
Yeah,
several
Yeah.
times today as
Yeah.
far as what was requiring work.
That's right. Yes, he
Yeah.
did.
so,
All right, well, it's easy to do. We could make a request for.
And we should
Tim.
probably look at some of the other trails too, if that's one trail that's only going one way, maybe some of the other ones are that way too. And Tim, when he was doing the monitoring, he could
Yeah,
check on that.
my trail's one way. It's always, when I inherited it, so to speak, it was always marked as one way, clockwise.
Mhm.
Go the other way, you would have some trouble, because you're not gonna see any markers.
Could we find that out?
It's
Yes.
marked in one direction.
and that is true of the Nature Conservancy too, between Lead Mine and East Shore Drive. In fact, those signs are all screwed up. I've gotten lost in there quite a lot in the last couple of months. I'm finally learning my way around. You know, it'll say Cook's Pond, and then the trails diverge. And you think, well, if I go, your instinct tells you to go this way, and then you find out that you're someplace else. And fortunately, I have time to get lost. I'm retired.
All right,
You
why
gotta
don't we
talk to Tim about that.
mention that to Tim?
Right.
So Jackman,
Sign, it's going downhill?
It's the up and the down. Going up, red paint slashes on the trees, they look old. But coming down,
up
the
and
slashes are only on the downhill side of the tree. So I was like,
marking, up and down marking, up and down markings need to be updated.
or there was a Boy Scout project or somebody, oh, I know, it was Chamberlain Ledge. The trails were marked with, they looked like the top of cat food cans. You know, all blue or all red.
Oh, they
and
did
then-
the round circle,
And
yeah.
then nailed into the tree, and those have stood up, I guess, because they're plastic.
You might wanna bring this up though, if we're looking at all the trails. I know if this is one way over at the, board parcel, then we maybe wanna, if we're doing it and the monitoring's happening, it wouldn't take that long to do that.
Right, exactly.
And we have a little extra cushion in there still. so
Right.
We do.
it's
So,
right there. That's what I'm thinking, I'm always
Right.
thinking the money, so.
And I didn't know if Josh saw this, municipal funding opportunities for EPA's Clean Heavy Duty Vehicle Grant Program, replacing your 2010 or older Class 6 and 7 trucks or buses. They've got $900 million.
Yeah, I've seen that. We've looked into it for different things. And, we don't have anything, well, we do have a couple things eligible, but graders aren't eligible. We
I
found that
wondered.
out. Yeah, they're not. We called and asked about that a couple years ago.
And then the used oil, that you already have something for used oil, don't you?
Yeah, we take all used oil for our heat.
Oh, for heat, great. And then this municipal green snow pro thing, is that something that the Brown
Yeah,
truck
we've
could be?
been to that class for snow plowing. It's,
Is that what it is?
yeah,
Great, because it seemed like
yeah,
some opportunities, but I'm sorry that the grader doesn't qualify.
no, it doesn't. That was the first thing we called about when we saw that. That's been out there for a couple of years.
Hmm. And do you know if anything happened with the culvert? That the Green Mountain had done that whole thing applying for a grant to replace culverts, and I just didn't know if we knew where that stood.
Yeah, I don't have any idea on
I'll
that.
try to see if I can find out something about that, but the selectmen were gonna look into it too, so.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about that.
Cause I don't, you know, we don't know when the money will be released or how much money each town will get, and I'm sure that there'll still be something to do, even if some of them have already been replaced.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Culverts, you could replace one a day.
Oh. They made progress though on defining the problem. I think it was a study contract in terms of data is available, but then it's a matter of who's funding the actual work, and that's where I think it stopped.
Yeah, they were gonna write a big grant, but I don't know what happened to that.
I don't think it's gone anywhere after they've done the report.
I know. Yeah, the last thing I remember about that was that we were gonna sign a letter of support. And
Right,
We did that, I know that was sent out. But I haven't heard anything since, I don't,
All right. Did that letter of support that Doug was asking for that we had already signed and you were gonna
I
send him
sent him that.
the other one, so that's
Haven't
taken
done
care of.
minutes yet, though, just so we know.
all right. Okay, back to my motion to adjourn.
No, we haven't done, we pushed the minutes, the
Oh.
May 2nd minutes off.
All right, here's
Didn't we say we were gonna wait for
Noreen?
Noreen?
Oh, yeah, on
Right.
approval of the May 2nd minutes, though.
no, we approved one set of minutes.
June.
June
Oh my
sixth.
gosh, I'm so confused right now, sorry.
June sixth.
June 6th, yes, May 2nd, yes, sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, that's fine.
I will second your motion to adjourn.
Yes, everybody says yes, thank you.
You're on the firehouse.
I'll miss you all in
You're a
August.
member of the fire.
No.
I'm glad, yay.
I was just thinking
So
that
the next
if the
meeting
school
is the first
situation,
Thursday in September.
I'm doing the other stuff.
doesn't
So
work
it's not
because
Labor Day.
This was